Want to have your clip featured in the Skyrim Clip of the Week? Simply record the clip on your Xbox and then send it to me via message. My gamertag is iRyeni, that's IRYENI, and then you can message it to me over Xbox and I'll be able to view it. I look forward to seeing the clips that you guys send me. Now moving on to the video. Hey, what's up guys? It's Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of Modded Monday. We're on week number 294 now, guys. I've picked out 5 new mods for you guys to check out and perhaps add them to your load order if you find them interesting. But like always, before we jump into them, I want to remind you guys that I'm partnered with Gamersups, which in my opinion is the best energy drink on the market. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check out the link in the description so you can go to their store page, and you can also use the code RTD for a 10% discount on all your purchases. I also want to say, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any brand new mods each and every single week. Now that all that's out of the way, we can jump into this week's mods, and starting us off we have a simple new spell mod called the Sleep Spells mod. And the mod page reads that this mod adds 3 new sleep spells to the Illusion School of Magic, and they're structured similarly to the other spells of that school. First off, you have Sleep Ray, which is a novice level single targeted ray spell affecting targets level 9 and below. Then you have the Cone of Slumber, which is an adept level multi-target cone in front of the caster affecting targets from level 20 or below. And then finally you have a Master spell, which has a wide area, and it's a player-centered spell affecting targets of 55 or below. And these spells will affect anyone that possesses a sleep animation in the base game, which is pretty much everyone, although a select few that don't. They will then remain sleeping for about 8 in-game hours, or 24 minutes in real time, or until disturbed by another player or another NPC. Now it's also important to note that these enemies can still detect you while they're sleeping, and will wake up and attack if they do wake up. Being asleep does reduce their ability to detect you, so it is somewhat easier to sneak up on them. This mod is also incredibly useful for keeping patrolling enemies or guards out of your way, and for feeding if you're a vampire. Which is pretty much why I'm covering it on the show here. You know, I thought this would be a perfect mod for all you vampire characters out there, because not only can you just go around and find people that are sleeping in inns and actually heal up that way and get your blood that way, but you can also now cast spells on anyone and they'll fall asleep right at your feet, and then you can feed on them there. But as you can see in this showcase here, I was also using this to steal from a bunch of shopkeepers all throughout the town, so this mod can definitely be used in a variety of different ways. And that's definitely why it's featured here at a number 5 spot this week, so I'd strongly recommend downloading the Sleep Spells mod and adding it to your next playthrough of Skyrim. Coming in at the number 4 spot this week, we have a brand new armor mod that adds tons of different customization options and colors to this armor. This is the Moon Monk's Robes mod. And this mod adds a new set of Khajiit-style armor inspired by the Elder Scrolls Online elsewhere. I've always loved the designs of Khajiit clothing, architecture, and music in those zones, and since we only have 2 Khajiit armor mods that I know of, I figured it would be a cool project to try and start to bring some of these mods from elsewhere into Skyrim. First, you must buy the crafting style book from one of the Khajiit caravan traders, or if you're getting the no merchant version of this mod, you can also craft the actual book that you need at the tanning rack. So no matter what different type of mod you get, there's a no merchant version where you can just craft it from the get-go, or there's another one that adds it into leveled lists so you can actually find and craft it on your own in your own playthrough. But right now I'm using the no merchant version just so I could get my hands on it quicker. But regardless of the mod that you downloaded, once you do have the actual book itself and read it, you have to have the glass smithing perk unlocked, and then you can head to the forge to craft the armor with the required materials. And as you can see as I'm showing you these armors, they're very simple but very flashy as well, and this comes in at a very small memory space, 37.38 megabytes, for something this high quality looking, and tons of different colors that you get to choose from as well. So I really like how this mod approaches the armor mod style. You know, it brings you tons of different colors, tons of different armors and robes to choose from, and that's definitely why this mod's featured here at a number 4 spot this week. So if you like the looks of these robes, I'd strongly recommend downloading the Moon Monk's robes and adding it to your next playthrough of Skyrim. Coming in at the number 3 spot this week, we have a brand new beautiful player home for you mages out there. This is the Magelight Keep. The mod page reads, "This is formerly a Mage's Keep. This lore-friendly player home is located just along the southern edge of Lake Ilanada, just east of Half Moon Mill. A spouse and 4 children are able to move in with the additional mod, Hearthfire Multiple Adoptions, but before we get into that, Magelight Keep is a ruined fort with 2 towers and an outdoor courtyard, as well as a wood chopping block to the east. The first smaller tower is a personal library, and the second tower within the central area of the keep is a multi-level living area. To claim your new home, you can enter the Magelight Keep study first to find your key to the main tower. Then the rest of the home is yours. The features of this house include a library with plenty of spaces for books, 4 of the large display cases, 5 small display cases, 3 weapon mounts, a wall coat of arms mount, 6 floor weapon racks, and 3 mannequins. We also have a trophy base hall with Hearthfire style functionality, an alchemy and enchanting station, an outdoor smithing area with a vendor as well, the children's room with 4 beds, and like I said, you will need the Hearthfire Multiple Adoptions in order to move your family into the house and keep it as your player home, so that's important to note there. You also get a servant's quarter with 3 beds and 1 extra bed for a follower. Then we have the kitchen with a cooking spit, a Hearthfire oven, a butter churn, and a mead barrel, and finally the bedroom, with tons of storage all throughout. And as you can see as I'm giving you the brief tour of Magelight Keep, this is a really awesome looking player home. You know, everything is spaced out very neatly, and then you also have the tower, which is a separate area for all of your studies. You know, there's so much that you can get up to in the Magelight Keep mod, and that's definitely why it's featured here at a number 3 spot this week. So if you really like the looks of this player home, or maybe you're starting a mage in your next playthrough and you want to get a jump start with a brand new player home, then I'd strongly recommend downloading the Magelight Keep mod and becoming its proud new owner. Coming in at the number 2 spot this week, we have a brand new armor mod that adds tons of different armor sets all throughout the game to leveled lists as well as the crafting section. This is the dedicated follower of fashion all-in-one mod. And the mod page reads, "Have you ever noticed how every leather, steel, and forsworn armor in the game looks the same? Of course you did. This mod aims to change that by adding tons of new lore-friendly armor sets to the game, suiting other regions and races' smithing styles, so that every time you encounter someone using one of these armor sets, it'll be one of these many different variations. Now this was done by changing the outfit records of the leather sets as well as the steel and forsworn armors in the game by adding other armors into the sublists and then adding those sublists to another sublist of a matching set. Basically what this means is you'll find all of these hundreds of new armor sets all throughout the world. But it's also important to note that with all of these brand new armors coming into Skyrim, they're not going to be completely overpowered, because they were made with the same stats as their leather armor, steel armor, and forsworn armor counterparts. But they can still be upgraded and tempered as well. Now just naming a few of the many types of armor sets that we have included in here. First off, you have the Altmeri leather set, the Outmoran leather set, the Cyrodiilic studded set, the Colonel Militia cuirass, the Britannic leather set, the Orcish leather set, Valenwood, and then you have other things such as the Royal Guard steel armor, Berserk steel armor, Dusk plate, the Ignoble steel armor, and the Alakir steel armor too, just to name a few. There's tons of different ones that you can find not only in the crafting stations, but also all throughout the world as you stumble across bandits and different types of enemies all throughout the world. You'll be able to see some of these weapons and armors that are featured within this mod here. But I'm sure a lot of you already noticed the very hefty memory space size that this mod requires, 516.14 megabytes. Ooh, that's a lot, but oh my gosh, does it add so many armors into the game that you'll find and not even know that it was part of this mod, because it all just blends together seamlessly. It takes off of the vanilla style as well, so everything doesn't, look out of place. It actually looks vanilla, and there's just so much content jam-packed into this mod. That's definitely why this mod's featured here at a number 2 spot this week, so I'd strongly recommend downloading it and adding it to your next playthrough of Skyrim. Coming in at the number 1 spot this week, we have a brand new SMIM mod that completely blew me out of the water the first time I installed it. This is Pauly's Arts 2. The mod page reads that this is a brand new all-in-one mod that features tons of different static mesh improvement mods and upgrades from Elsopa and many different popular creators. Now, if you're not sure what SMIM means, like I said, it's the static mesh improvement mod, and what those are is basically every single object that you see all throughout Skyrim, not like the walls or like the different types of textures on roofs and stuff like that. They're more so the objects that you can pick up. such as garlic, tomatoes, bread, different types of objects, buckets, baskets, and more. Those types of objects will now be completely upscaled and have brand new remastered textures, some of which are even in 4K. And with there being so many objects that you can pick up and see all throughout Skyrim, that's why it comes in at 632.68 megabytes, because it has to cover a lot of content here. But now moving on to the objects that are affected, like I said, we have garlic. The garlic mod is included in here, so those look a lot better. Moving on, you have other things such as the better bread, better apples, better honey pots, better soul gems, better silver ingots, better chests, lanterns, immersive buckets. Wine looks a lot better. And then one of my favorite ones, El Sopa's Potions Redone, which completely transforms every single potion, which you'll be able to see in this showcase here. All the potions look phenomenal now. We also have better textures for Azura's Star, the Giants, iron tools, the grindstone, the anvil, keys, buckets, bloodied rags, tankards, amulets, coin bags, papers, furniture, and more. There's so much covered in here, and I know that I'm going to be doing a showcase of just showing you regular household objects. You can definitely tell the difference whenever switching over from vanilla into this mod because they just look phenomenal. El Sopa is one of my favorite mod creators whenever it comes to, producing textures, because they just have a really unique style that you really can't get elsewhere, and I really love the looks of it. But there's not only just the El Sopa mods included in here, there's tons of different other ones, like the Miscellaneous Retexture Project, Animated Clutter, which is a very awesome mod. Animated Clutter, basically, if you're watching my showcase here, whenever I open up some bags or barrels all throughout Skyrim, they'll have a little animation of me rustling through the bag or opening the top of the barrel, just so it's a lot more immersive. That's actually a mod I've had in my load order for years now because it's just that great. So if you're building a brand new graphical load order and you really need an SMIM mod that's going to cover everything that you could possibly think of without having to download tons of different other smaller mods, then Pauly's Arts 2 is definitely a mod I'd recommend checking out because it covers everything that you're going to need, and I know it comes in at a high memory space, but the textures look absolutely phenomenal, so if you do have the space, it's definitely worth it. And that's why it's featured here at our #1 spot this week, so I'd strongly recommend downloading Pauly's Arts 2 and completely remastering your next playthrough of Skyrim. So that's pretty much it for this week's episode of the top 5 Skyrim mods of the week. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe if you're new. It really helps me out a lot. And if you have any suggestions for mods you'd like me to cover in future top 5 mod episodes, be sure to let me know in the comment section below, or you can join our Discord. I'll be sure to leave the Discord link in the description as well as the pinned comment so you can join us on there and leave mod suggestions there as well. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys later.